All right, I'll admit to being in a weird mood right now. Um, we just watched the TMZ.com Henry Ruggs crash video. It's devastating. A car up in flames. A person died. 3:39 a.m. whatever it was in Vegas. Car crash, and Ruggs was driving the vehicle that hit a Rav4, and the driver of that vehicle died. As of this moment, we don't have. I don't know if anybody else was in that car. I don't know. I mean, the thing was up in flames. You presume not, but who knows? I don't know. But it's awful. I mean, I don't. It is. I don't know what to say other than it's terrible. It's really terrible. And what comes next for him and what comes next for the football team, we will talk about that. That's part of a different conversation. But if we're going to have the football conversation, we have to start with the human side of this, which is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a human tragedy anytime someone loses their life in a car accident, especially when, let's face it, he was driving and he was drunk, or impaired. I mean, he got a DUI. So it's a human tragedy. I mean, it's an NFL tragedy. Like, this is a weird shit happens in the NFL, right? Guys have gotten DUIs, guys get arrested for things. This is a wow, right? This was one of the, as the information came out, you're just, the first thing when it was kind of gaining steam, I think you forwarded me a tweet probably like 8 a.m., right? There was just some rumors about a devastating crash in Vegas. Benjamin Albright was tweeting about it.
Right.
I texted a guy on the Raiders, and my only question was, is Henry Ruggs okay? I didn't hear anything back. My concern was, did he lose his life? Because it was like someone died in the crash, and then it came out. He actually texted me back that, like, no, he's okay. Like, he's not dead. He was the least injured from what I was told of the people. Obviously, the worst case scenario, someone died. But then when he was driving, the information comes out that he gets a DUI. Like, it's a holy shit NFL moment. I mean, I think in the world we live in the umbrella that is, whatever the league is, when something like this happens, and I think you factor in, we'll get into the football standpoint, but just such a young player, such a bright future, and it feels like it's all over in the blink of an eye. Like, it just feels like the guy's career's over. Someone's died. You start jail time. It's beyond awful. It's one of those things that, like, again, I mean, I look at this from an NFL perspective, following this team, and it just hurts your heart, the whole thing. Like, ultimately Gruden, it was like, what? I didn't give a fuck. I mean, it was a crazy story. We talked about it, but it's like, I didn't spend that much time. Like, Gruden lost his job. Like, this is one of those where you just feels like the entire day from once I kind of found out what happened is just kind of weighed on you. Like, Jesus.
Absolutely. It's, we'll talk about other stuff. And as I said, we will talk about just the football aspect of this, because that's a real part of it too. But the devastating part of this is there was a person who has people who, other people's lives got ruined today, in addition potentially to Henry's, but in addition to the person that died, right? That person had people around them, and a person's life cut short, and it's devastating for anybody else involved in the situation.
Well, just the visuals of the crash, right? I mean, it looked like it looked like a bomb went off with the car. You just hope, who knows, I don't even want to speculate. The guy get out of the car. Did he die in the car? I mean, it was.
I think they
flames.
said the responding crew on site checked the vehicle, and the person was dead in the vehicle. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, Jesus Christ.
I know. It's his life, it's other people's lives, but particularly that person first and foremost. I think it's obvious, but if you're about to have a football conversation, that needs to be first established. And then, I saw Vic Tafur wrote in The Athletic that in the state of Nevada, a DUI that results in a death, which obviously is what this is when he gets charged with DUI, is what's called a Category B felony. And, you can I found easily the bullet points that go with a Category B felony, and that's 2 to 20 years in prison and some other things. But that's the most significant part of it. And, that's the Henry Ruggs thing.
I mean, from a Henry Ruggs,
that's a whole other tragedy.
I mean, I know my text messages are full. Just I think the first reaction you have is like, this guy's going to go away. I know someone who I don't necessarily know him, but my brother does. The family had someone in a situation in a DUI manslaughter, and this guy had he was very wealthy to fight a case that you're guilty of the case, but you know what I mean, like to try to limit the amount of time you're going to spend, and he served several years, and this is in California. I think he's still in jail now. I think he served like 5 or 6 years, killed someone, and it's
Wow.
one of those like it's just one of those situations. Obviously, not in a million years would any human want to. This is just the moment this kid's life, whose future looked like. I mean, you and I had been kind of on the scent of just like, this guy could be really good last year, and then it was like coming into his own, and now it feels like career over like that. Like his career's over. But not even just football feels, trivial talking about the guy's life, but it also feels like his life gets derailed, right? It's just
Yeah, I
it
mean,
ends it.
we'll see. Right, you still have to get charged with DUI and be guilty of DUI. Right, there's still things that have to play themselves out. But yeah, if you're thinking about the worst case scenarios,
Potential
uh,
reckless driving, right? Who knows how fast he was going? What was there are the other thing in Vegas. I don't know what road that I don't know if this. I don't think it was on the Strip, but the amount of cameras now all over a lot of these major cities, right? It's just they're going to be potentially satellite. Who knows, right? That could change it. So it's just awful.
Dante Stallworth comes to mind. 2009. That was like 7:30 a.m. He had been drinking the night before. He hit a pedestrian. And I don't remember. I could be wrong about this. I think part of that story was the pedestrian was not in the crosswalk. They were like crossing in an area where
I thought he was crossing a freeway or like an interstate. The pedestrian.
I don't think it was a freeway, but there
This
was
feels
some
a
other
little- this
element of
feels
that.
different.
He was 0.12 was his blood alcohol level, so he was technically over the legal limit.
Yeah.
He did 30 days with some other elements of charity involved, right? He did end up playing in the NFL again, but again, his thing was he was not coming. The story I think was he had been drinking the night before, and maybe that's why his blood alcohol was slightly over the legal limit. But yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
that's the first thing you think of because that's the other NFL incident that has.
It feels like this guy's going away, guy. I mean, it just feels like Henry Ruggs is going to jail. I mean, that's what it feels like. Henry Ruggs is going to jail. Now,
Yeah, that is
a
what it
year,
feels
5
like.
years, who knows? Now, there's been a lot of like career over, who the fuck knows? But it feels like Henry Ruggs will be behind jail, and 30 days do not feel like that's the case on this one, right? Now, like you said, we'll see what comes out, but you get a DUI, you kill someone in their car, especially if he's at a stoplight, like it's a little different than Dante Stallworth. Also, it's 2021 is a little different time than 2009. Now I know laws and states change, but I think Henry Ruggs is in fucking deep shit.
I don't think there's any. I mean, yeah, that's what it feels like to everybody right now. I'm just saying before we'll see what happens. But yes, it's part of. I think a lot of conversations will come out of it, right? And I don't know if it's fair or not. The conversation about having a football team in Las Vegas, but this could happen anywhere.
I think it's 100% the thing that I thought of, right?
Yeah.
It's their first major incident, in the city.
Now, I think when we always talked about having a team in Las Vegas, it's like, oh, are they coming from the club and XYZ? I don't know. He was at a golf thing at a Top Golf, but who
Their
knows?
Top
I
Golf
don't
is
know.
the best one. It's sweet.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of the conversation.
Well, I saw people were tweeting at me like, "Don't the Raiders have people that can take care of younger players?" Like, this is the big leagues. Like, you get to do your own thing. Like, you can do whatever you want at night. Like, people don't fucking hold your hand.
Right.
Eventually, you got to make
People
a
have
decision.
told
Like,
if you're in the NFL, you've been told several times, get a driver, don't drive yourself, keep yourself out of these situations, right? That's been told many times to every player. Here's the number you call if you need a ride. That's simple.
And to me, whether you're a star NFL player or to me or you, like in society in 2021, there's just, you can get an Uber wherever you're at. I mean, it's just that simple, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying the difference is in the NFL, they have told you here is a hotline. You don't even need to call an Uber. Here's how you get or you have the money, hire somebody to drive you around. Right.
Yeah, your job tells you that. That's probably a major difference in you're a professional athlete. You hear your boss at the local insurance company isn't telling you that every day. Right. It may never come up ever. Right.
Right.
It's hammered home.
Let's make smart decisions before we're impaired. Right. You're impaired. It's already too late. You might already in that moment go, I don't need an Uber. I'll drive myself. But make the decision beforehand.
Well, over the weekend, Aaron Rodgers, after they won the game, he said to the team before they left, and they broke down 1, 2, 3, go Packers. After they beat the Cardinals, was like, hey everyone, we carry the G. I mean, it's kind of cheesy, but he's like, for the next 3 days, right? We're gonna have basically the weekend off. You're a Packer everywhere you go. You don't just get to go fuck around now and you get in trouble. They're coming off a bye week.
Yeah, you're saying that's the message before a bye.
Yeah, or even on a long weekend if you play on Thursday, let alone the bye. What do you think they told everyone when they left for the next week, and then they came back, but then you automatically get Tuesdays off in the NFL? So they might have just had a 5-hour, maybe a workout, a little walkthrough on Monday. So it's like an extension of your holiday. You get to keep going out and partying and doing whatever you want. He's not alone. You're allowed to party. These are grown-ups, whether you're 50 or whether you're 25. You can do whatever the fuck you want in the real world. But you do have to make, some people make good decisions, some people don't. And clearly Henry Ruggs made an all-time devastating decision. Honestly, it feels honestly, it doesn't feel like Dante Stallworth to me at all. The repercussions and what's coming. It feels like it's going to be really bad. And I know this, talking to people that are, around there, they think it's game over.
Yeah, if he was driving under the influence, if he was speeding at an excessive number, right? Those are all contributing factors too.
Yeah.
That,
make it worse,
context,
right?
Or context. Yeah. He, Dante, stayed around. I don't know, whatever that means. I guess it's worse to leave. You don't get extra credit for staying, but
yeah. Isn't what you would say the price of admission? You have to
That's
stay.
Right. That's right. Price of admission. Yeah.
Didn't run.
Yeah.